everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Small Town TV. I'm Leighton LaViolet.
And I'm Elizabeth Gunning.
You know, I really enjoy listening to the band's performances. They have a lot of talented students.
I don't think I've ever been. Are they good?
I would say so. They're even getting to perform at KMEA alongside the jazz band.
KMEA? I'm not sure I've ever heard that before. What's it stand for?
I'm not really sure. Good thing Sophie and David had that answer for us.
The Jazz and Concert Band prepare for the KMEA competition.
KMEA is our yearly conference for music educators. There's all kinds of stuff that goes along with it. There's a big convention where we get to see lots of vendors and new instruments. There's also professional development for teachers where we get to learn about new techniques and things. But the coolest part of it is bands, orchestras, choirs get invited to perform at it. And the biggest audience are actually band teachers, orchestra teachers, choir teachers, so people who know what a good music ensemble is supposed to sound like. Actually never gone. This will be the third time for our jazz ensemble.
Jazz band is preparing we've got 4 songs we're taking, and each of them we spend about 20-ish minutes on every single day, and we just work on things over and over again until we get it right. But a lot of times the things we're doing are so small that listeners in the audience wouldn't be able to hear, but it's just things that we can get perfect. It's not about making it sound good, it's about getting it as perfect as possible. So that's what we're doing right now.
I think the only difference between preparing for concert band and jazz band is the music. Just because, we do the same thing just in a different format. I think something specific we're doing to prepare this year is repetition. We're just kind of playing the songs over and over and over again, just so that we can not only listen to the differences, but just, understand how we could better it.
This is reporter David Sullivan and videographer Sophie Jester with Small Town TV.
Wow, I feel so much more cultured after that story. Did you know there's an instrument called the guitar?
I guess not. Doesn't even sound real to me.
Yeah, apparently only 10% of high schools have them. Speaking of numbers, you want to know how many wrestlers I've seen get injured?
I assume a lot. It's a pretty dangerous sport.
Usually, but they've added more techniques to help keep them safe.
Over the duration of a wrestling season, it is hard for athletes to stay healthy. At times, athletes need to spend their time during practice to rest or recover from injuries.
Well, you can't just jump right back into the sport because then you risk a chance of getting injured even more than you were before. And you also can't be too passive because if you take too long to get back into the sport, then everybody else is going to catch up and pass you, and then you weren't as good as you were before. So it's trying to find a balance between taking your time to get back and then getting back as soon as you can. For wrestling specifically this year, we had a lot more injured people than we have in the past. So what we've been doing is collecting all the people who can't wrestle, bringing them out into the weight room, and then we've been switching out coaches, assistant coaches, each 30 minutes, and they'll all run us through different circuits. So different workouts depending on if our arms hurt or if our legs hurt or if our backs hurt. So they're more specific to us.
Main thing, what we learned during practice, you got to learn how to fall. So that's probably your number one thing. Learn technique, things like that that'll help prevent the injury. Some kids come in with an existing injury, such as a knee or shoulder or something like that. So we do some stuff to strengthen the areas that are injured and go from there. Probably the biggest value is learning to fight through a tough situation. So basically be comfortable being uncomfortable. So you get in a tight spot, that translates to life, and you got to find a way to battle through tough spots.
It's difficult, especially with wrestling, because there's weight management, and then you can't work out to help that, and just regaining strength and confidence. We all try to have good sportsmanship, whether we win or lose, and we just try as hard as we can. Don't give up during matches.
This is reporter Isaac Bosky and videographer Sophie Stonecker for Small Town TV.
Oh man. Well, at least the trainers have their med bags in case of emergencies.
And thank goodness for that. You know, I've always wondered why they're so prepared. Some days I forget my own pencil.
Here, do you need a few?
That's a odd amount of pencils to have on you.
Yeah. Sometimes I do wonder, what teachers might have in their room.
I've heard that teachers have some strange things in their room. Let's hope we don't see any of that in the next segment.
Teachers have interesting objects that they keep in their room. Today, we interviewed a few school staff about the stories behind those objects.
So that coffee pot actually was a gift to me from students. I was teaching, and in this classroom, in the room next to me, was another teacher named Tyler Hinkle, and he brewed coffee every morning. I was teaching an AVID class at the time, and at the end of the year, we knew that Mr. Hinkle was leaving, and I was actually going to be switching jobs as well. Still in the district, but not teaching that AVID class. So as a going-away gift, the AVID kids figured out exactly what coffee pot he had and bought me the same one.
So for Christmas this year, and I have no idea why these people are so kind, this is actually Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbs, and Mr. Croker made this for me this year. It's really kind of a cool thing, really very happy with that. Mrs. Sheelight, who is equally talented as an artist, it's got a disc golf basket in it. I don't know if you can zoom in on that and take a peek at that. She knows that I love disc golf. Just really pretty pleased and really happy, and both of them, Croker and Sheelight, make me feel pretty inferior as a human being.
Many of you who have been in my office have seen my collection of dolphin figurines. This is because for my whole life, dolphins have been kind of my thing. People who know me, who have known me since high school, know that dolphins have always been my thing. I used to want to be a marine biologist because I wanted to train dolphins. Turned out, couldn't do so well in college science classes, so I dropped the marine biology side of things. Went into dealing with adolescents and kiddos in high school. Parents and students would bring me little dolphin figurines to put around my office as Christmas gifts or end of the year gifts. So you'll notice if you come in my office, the variety of dolphin things that I have in here, from wooden items to, this is salt and pepper shakers. Don't have any salt and pepper in them, so don't come trying to season your lunch.
That is pretty interesting. Something else that's pretty interesting to me is what's changed with basketball this year.
Yeah, I keep hearing about the changes that they made, especially with the new coaches.
Yeah, me too. Let's get a little bit more insight from Ethan and Vincent on it.
AHS hired Kirsten Crawford as the new girls' head coach. Since starting, the girls have seen improvement on the court. Even the boys' head coach, Ryan Petty, is happy to have Crawford on board.
So we added a fourth coach this year, which is absolutely awesome for the program. So now we're able to, we kind of split it up where we have 2 practices. So we're able to have 2 coaches at each practice, which is absolutely vital for the program.
There was an opening that came up. Our first school ended in May last year, and I saw it and, talked to Ms. Dearbar about it, and we thought it would be, a good fit and, a good fit for the girls and for myself, and we just thought we'd give it a shot.
There was about 5 years ago, there was an opening, and I applied for it at the time. I was coaching in Liberal, Kansas, and applied for the position and interviewed and was fortunate enough to get it. So total now, I've been coaching for about 12 years, but this is my 5th year here at Augusta.
I've been around basketball for, my whole life. I coached here 4 years ago. I was a freshman coach, but in a structured setting as a coach, this is, I guess, technically my 2nd year. One of the main things about coaching is being able to establish those relationships and build those and cultivate those. So I think we did a good job of that this summer, getting with the girls and getting our workouts in and stuff. We're able to start building those relationships. There's been a lot of learning curves here, and with that, I just rely on my coaching staff to kind of help, get me through some of those experiences and stuff.
Players will occasionally have issues. A lot of times it's not malicious anything that they're trying to do, but they're kids and humans. We as humans, we all make mistakes, and the kids will make mistakes at times, and it's kind of our job and as coaches' jobs to stay on them.
This group of girls is pretty fantastic. They make things easy off the court. There's not a lot of trouble. They take care of business in the classroom. So for a first-year head coach, they've been a pretty good, good dream to coach.
I don't necessarily think that in high school sports that wins and losses are 100% whether or not you have a successful season or not. But I like to think that we do the right things at all times, and that's what we try to teach the kids, is to do the right things. And we love having our 4th coach this year.
This is reporter Ethan Quering with videographer Vincent Nesson for Small Town TV.
I never really knew who the basketball coaches were. I always thought that Elliot would be one because of Unified PE. Speaking of classes, what's your favorite?
I really enjoy the art classes, like drawing and graphic design. Game design's pretty fun too.
Cool. You'll be a senior next year, won't you? What do you plan on doing about your open blocks?
Probably just be at home working on personal projects or just hanging out with friends. I wonder what the seniors this year are doing.
Same. It's a good thing that Nat and Devin can tell us more about it.
Seniors having blocks without scheduled classes gives them more freedom and allows them time to prepare for activities they have coming up. Senior Erin Kane describes what she likes to do in her off blocks.
I like to go to McDonald's a lot or other food places, but I'm mostly at McDonald's because it's cheap food, and I sometimes get my boyfriend food because he has to eat at the school, so I just run over here and then bring it back to the school.
For senior Cade Dalzell, having off blocks gives him time to think about his future plans. Cade only has class first block on A days. After that, he goes to work at Ace Hardware.
So on my B days, I only have Ace off. I have a full day, and so I have to drive back to my house and then back into town, which kind of wastes a lot of gas. That's really the only downside I have. I normally try to get all my work done in class, so I don't really have to worry about that, but I can do a lot more at my job and get paid a lot more money.
This is reporter Natalia Ross with videographer Devin Carroll for Small Town TV.
It does sound like it would be nice to have all that time to do whatever you want. Maybe do homework or even go to work during the school day.
I can't wait until I become a senior. That's all we have for this episode of Small Town TV.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.
Oh.
Greetings, Small Town TV viewers. Thank you for tuning in to another episode, and please liking and subscribe for more news content like this. See you next time.